Blunier.
Here.
Hilliard.
Here.
Leach.
Here.
Menold.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
Parrott. Here. We have a quorum.
I ask you to join me in pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. There is no public hearing or presentations tonight. We do have public comments, if anyone wants to make a public comment.
Good, please.
Okay.
Good evening. My name is Justin Ellis with Gifsco Construction out of Pekin, Illinois. I'm here to basically answer any questions you may have. There might be something on your agenda about some zoning issues with 120 Detroit Parkway. I do not represent the owner of that property. However, we're a possible tenant in that building. That we have a construction company, but we also have a wood skid or pallet making company and a big client of ours is Caterpillar. So a couple weeks ago, we gave a presentation. Hopefully you have all the information you need. If anything comes up, we'll be more than willing to answer any questions you may have about what we do, how we do it, and how we're going to make the property work. And if any follow-up questions you may have later on, just reach out to us any way. I think Brad Marks has our contact information should you need it.
Okay.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Before I say anything, I want to commend Morton community for the cleanness of this village you have. I've been up here 2 years. I live out here at 118 Willow Oak in Oakland's mobile home park. There's 2 entrances and exits on the south side, one on the north side, and I've become concerned of being an Army military policeman. The traffic is a problem out there on the north entrance and exit. And I approached the state troopers down at Mills Restaurant down there, and they said that I go to IDOT. Well, I went to IDOT, talked to them. They recommended that I contact traffic. Well, I've heard nothing back from them, but I talked to another young lady who's I suppose she's a park ranger for the Fond du Lac Park District down there. She suggested I come and present this to you because that is a problem out there. There is a bus, school bus that goes in and out there. At least 2 of them that I know of, and I've been here 2 years come August, and I've almost seen some really good wrecks out there. So I'm bringing it to you and see if you all can help me out in getting hidden driveway signs put up on going down the hill, because when cars come up the hill there at the entrance, the top of the car, you see it, and I mean it's right there, maybe 20 yards in front of you. And some of the young ladies I see around town, I shouldn't tell, there's a policeman set over there, but they come up that hill about 60 miles an hour. I about got hit, and I talked to some of the other people who live there in Mobile Home Park, and they agreed with me that let me do what I could do. They've tried, there's been nothing done. So I'm going to bring it back to you to let you see if you can help me out, get the hidden traffic signs, at least 2, put up there in that little spot on the highway. That's Route 150, by the way, and within the city limits.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
The consent agenda tonight is the approval of the minutes, the regular meeting of May 16th, 2022, and the approval of the bills. If we could have a motion.
To approve. Second.
Any questions? Call the roll.
Blunier.
Yes.
Hilliard.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Menold.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Parrott.
Yes.
Motion carries.
I have just one item tonight. We're coming up on our annual household hazardous waste collection with GFL Environmental Incorporated, which is the old Grimm's area disposal. And for Morton residents only, on June 11th, 2022, from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. at 250 West Cortlandt Street, which is the school bus lot next to our fire station out on Cortlandt Street and right off Veterans Road there. So you can bring out your paints, your home cleaners, gas, oil, antifreeze, any of those hazardous materials, no tires. And if you have TVs, please take them to the environmental there on Jefferson. They take TVs all day long. This isn't really the event to take TVs. You can drop them off all week long at environmental there where we drop off cardboard, same location. So, but antifreeze, paint thinners, batteries, all those type of things. So, Brad, would you like to add something to that, or Craig?
Yeah, I think the important thing is this is the last one under our contract, so we won't have one here for a couple of years. It's for Morton residents only, so you will have to show driver's license or identification card, and it just needs to say Morton. You don't necessarily have to be under our contract with GFL. You just have to be a Morton resident. And the important thing is to enter the map that's on the screen there. Similar to our last one, you'll enter Cortlandt from veterans. All businesses on Cortlandt will be open. It'll be a little chaotic, but we'll work to get people to the businesses on Cortlandt. But if you're going to enter the site, which is the school bus lot there right next to the fire station, you will have to enter Cortlandt from veterans. We will have arrow boards up and a lot of employees of the police department and public works to help direct and get you there.
And the citizens have to realize we don't want this stuff in our creeks or in our waterways. No, none of that stuff dumped. So we started this. We have it about every 3 years, and this is our last one. So it's important to get rid of it, legal, and they'll haul it away out of our community. So please use it
So this Saturday,
this Saturday.
don't miss it.
Village clerk,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
chief of police.
I have one item tonight, Your Honor. Look for approval for the purchase of 3 Ford Explorers at the state bid price of $36,485 from Morrow Brothers Ford.
Motion to approve. Second. Second.
Any questions? Chief, you have anything to add to that?
We did our normal bid process on this. We did contact the Dodge dealership. The issue with that is there's nothing in stock, and they're not looking to have a new bid for the 23 model until late this year. Obviously, we bought 2 squad cars back in January. We still have not received those. So with the lead time, I didn't want to wait until later this year, so we would look to do the Fords now. And hopefully we get them by the end of the year. So,
What's the typical age or miles, or what's the replacement program we're under?
well, we used to do 3 years and about 100,000, but we've been over that now. I think our oldest squad car that's on patrol is a 16. We have 2 of those. So they've well into the 150,000 mile mark, and Ryan's not here tonight, but he would tell you that they're starting to deteriorate pretty quickly. So.
Do you recall which state contract you guys used?
This is the one through the state of Illinois
the state of Illinois
through,
state of Illinois?
yeah, through the state of Illinois, and this, yeah. So.
Is that a better contract than the other contracts? Is it really?
Seems to be, yeah, it seems to be. It's the one that we've used ever since I've been either deputy chief or chief, so we've been using it for over a decade, and it seems to work well, so.
Well, that's different than the equipment we buy, Craig, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All
In
right.
fact, we used this back when Chief Graff was with us.
Yeah, so it's
So,
quite a while.
Sounds good.
All right, any other comments? Call the roll.
Leach,
yes.
Menold,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Hilliard.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Corporation Counsel
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
and Director of Public Works.
Yeah, one item tonight, Your Honor. I'd like to ask for acceptance of customer billing charge from Ameren, Illinois in the amount of $32,734.88 to remove and relocate the overhead electrical at 445 East Birchwood Street. This is the site of the future gas and water building.
So moved. Second.
So this is a unique one. I put some information, sent an email out to all of you. Been working with them actually for several years on this site. This is the former transmission line that was relocate or abandon that went along, this paralleled the old railroad that went behind the Brentwood Road, or Brentwood backyards there, all the way southeast of town. So there's a chunk there on our property at 445 East Birchwood that we've requested that they remove. This is not something that they'll do for free. It's not right away, but this will really clean up this site, and essentially they're going to remove all the poles, all that, which is now distribution, not transmission, and they'll get rid of all that and basically just head down Clifton. So from Clifton to 4th Street through that yard, whatever you see there, all that would go away for this cost here. And that's kind of in the area of kind of the back of that site, but it will improve safety and just really clean up that site. So I wanted to bring it to you guys to answer any questions you might have and at least get it formally approved from you guys.
Go ahead.
Just curious, was that on the railroad right of way?
It's right on the edge, so I think it just parallels it. I'm honestly not sure if it was right on. I think it's just right on the right of way, I believe.
Yeah, it's right on that.
Yeah.
So were they by easement or fee title right of way, or?
I'm not sure exactly. It's not village right away, I know that. But I'm not sure, never really looked that up if it was on the property. I assume there's some sort of old easement there is my guess.
I believe I'd have to check to verify. I haven't looked recently. I believe from title work that was done in connection with the purchase that there was an easement on the rear of the property.
And they've been really good to work with. I think this is as good as it's gonna get, but it will really, make a tremendous improvement there, especially at 4th Street, getting rid of, the guy wires. There are very large poles there at 4th Street. So they'll just terminate at Clifton. They'll still be along Penn Street as it goes east of Clifton. Then there's just a short stretch over Penn Street along Clifton that they'll have to reconnect. And pretty much that's it. There's a few little guy wires right there to avoid our future entrance, stuff like that.
To go back to the easement, I think there is an easement there now, and I assume that they're not vacating that easement or giving that easement up, that they'll.
Yeah, we'll work with them with all that. Yeah, make sure all that's taken care of. So.
Any other questions? Call the roll.
Parrot.
Yes.
Newman.
Yes.
Mennel.
Yes.
Leach.
Yes.
Hilliard.
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Motion carries.
That's all I have tonight, Your Honor.
Zoning and code enforcement, Brad?
I have one item tonight, Your Honor. It's petition number 22-06. It's a zoning amendment and special use.
Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Want to tell us about it?
So in your packets, you received the application from the property owner to rezone 120 Detroit Parkway from B3 to I1. And they're also requesting a special use to allow open-air storage. This was given a favorable recommendation from the Plan Commission. I can answer any questions, if
Okay.
there's any.
Any questions?
Just looking at the map here, it's hard to detect whether we have, is that all I-1 that's surrounded to the
It's
east?
I-1 to the east, and then there's I-2, which that I-2 is a village of Morton. It's a detention area. So the other would be Fort Transfer, which is the north and the east,
Right,
and then everything to the west and northwest is B3.
right. So it's just really an extension of the adjacent to existing I-1.
Yes, to the west, yes.
Yeah, I think one of the concerns that we saw was that the setbacks for this property were specifically done for B3, and they meet the B3 in that the current setback for the side is 10 feet, and the required setback for I-1 is 40. The required setback for the front 60, and the current setback for the front on this is 45. The required current setback in the rear is 40, the current is over 100 at this, so there's ample there. But it's obvious that as you look at it, the entire Detroit Parkway, every business on Detroit Parkway was zone B3. So we would be changing that for the I-1 zoning. So the other concern was how they're going to get in and out. Mr. Ellis explained to the Planning Commission that they would be, knows Mr. Breaker from Garber, and that he's agreed for them to use their ingress egress to exit. I think one of the concerns is that is there an easement that would allow him to do this? To be able to maneuver the trucks in to come in forward and go out forward, because we don't want them to back in or back out and cause a traffic congestion. A lot of this will be weeded out through the site plan review on that, but I think as we look at it, do we want an area which setbacks is non-conforming or not? You know, are we willing to accept that? The particular area is isolated from any visual view. Fort Transfer has a big berm on the side of it which blocks a lot of residential vision, because there is some residential over on David Street on that side to the east of the post office. And then you've got Garber and storage facility on the south side, and then the other businesses there. So, you know, it's sort of in an obscured area for that. So I think that's the question. Do you want to do this? The storage is, by Mr. Ellis's account at the Planning Commission meeting, is very limited in the amount of time that material will be stored outside. They would be bringing stuff in on a flatbed, unload it with forklift, and then immediately getting the truck out and moving stuff inside. But there would be some occasion where material boxes would have to be built outside, just because the size that they are to be able to ship the equipment that Caterpillar would need, and the size of the doorways to be able to get the put together box, assembled box out. So
I'll just make a comment, kind of talking about, you know, the setbacks being less than what they are. I see that setback, you know, where it abuts, there's not going to be any activity on that side of the building anyway. So you know, from the public's view, from that setback side of things, nothing will change from what you drive by and see today. I do have a question. Is there, Mr. Ellis, if I may, so you're heat treating the wood? Is that, or?
We actually don't heat treat them. Everything's heat treated prior to arriving.
Oh, okay.
And we actually visually see that it's heat treated. We mark it, we label it, we quantify it, and then we reassemble it, and then put our own stamp on it. That just verifies that everything's
Okay.
heat treated. So no heat.
My concern was the heat, the fume, any sort of fumes that would be generated. Okay.
So the entrance to this facility is through Garber's, off of Detroit?
no, the entrance would be off of, for this business, but there is almost like a U shape, because the exit would be out Garber's.
Oh, exit out.
Yes, they would come in this properties as the entrance. There's a adjoining piece of concrete that adjoins both entrances to there. So they would come in, circle around after they unloaded and exit.
Because doesn't their property line really end at the building?
This is Garber right here. And it's actually, they own, you know, I think there's another parcel in there, but when Garber developed, he owns an L shape. So Garber owns a portion of this. So it's an L shape. It's a little strange. And there's two entrances here. There's one off the cul-de-sac, which actually the property line splits it. And this little, you can kind of see on your sheets, there's a detention basin here too. And there's a separate entrance for this facility. So it's my understanding that, traffic would come in something like this and come out this one. So in site plan review, those are the things we would ask Mr. Ellis to demonstrate, probably with turning templates, whatever trucks you would use. We'll want to see those, and then as far as an agreement with Mr. Garber, or Mr. Breaker at Garber, we'd want to see something, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pat, an agreement's not necessarily going to work. We're going to want something that lays with the land, that way it's always there, so that, you can turn trucks around and not have to back up onto Detroit Parkway.
They will come out on Detroit Parkway. They will
Yes.
be coming back through
They'll circle out.
Garber's
Yeah.
main building.
It'd be nice if that little piece was part of that property, but that's a little misleading on that
It
square there.
originally was,
Yeah,
and they sliced it off when they owned it for a period of time. So the property line really is toward the end of the building, straight across.
so that would probably be our biggest concern in site plan review, is working with them to make sure that the trucks they're gonna use can enter into the property and circulate before they head out, instead of backing, in off of Detroit Parkway.
On that back piece of pavement, Garber store stuff, and then they go out that way.
And these are tough ones for us sometimes, because you may get approved from Plan Commission and get approval from you, and then it lands on my desk. And if we can't show that, then that's where we don't grant a permit, Pat, it would be kind of that coming back to appeal back for some reason. So this is one that could, as we look at it, be something similar, and we deal with those from time to time, and we'll work with them on that process.
So do we have any other questions or comments? If not, did you have something?
Nope.
Okay. Call the roll.
Newman,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Leach,
Yes.
Hilliard,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Menold.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All you have?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Village trustees, anyone have anything tonight? If not, we need no closed session, so if we can have a motion to adjourn. Second, all those in favor?